Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the LPZZ Batman Arkham Knight Deathstroke, or UPF. There's no LPZZ branding on this anymore, is there? I don't think there is. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they changed their name or whatever. They're not just a third-party company, so maybe they had to because of third-party stuff they do. I don't know what's going on, but this guy's got UPF branding, whatever. It's the LPZZ Deathstroke. Goes with the Batman that I reviewed not that long ago. Mine's been stuck in Chicago's postal hub for ages, and so that's why I just now have it here, and it didn't make it onto any top 10 list because it didn't show up, and I can't do anything about that. But it is a pretty darn good figure. Is it as good as Batman? I'm not sure. We'll see as we go, but pretty darn good nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, let's go ahead and look at the package. Dang it, I screwed it up. I have to try every time to say my package because you guys still giggle about it sometimes, I'm told in the comments. Anyway, pretty cool packaging. It matches the Batman one, but again, very stylized on the front, some chrome lettering, that's nice. Otherwise, it's just very, very basic. Very basic, which is, you know, fine by me, because I don't care what the box looks like that much, I just care what the figure looks like. And this figure is beautiful. It is not, as of right now, distributed officially in America, so you have to find your own way to buy it. I don't know if I endorse personally any of these stores. I mean, I'm certainly not affiliated with them at all. I've heard bad things about a few of them. I've heard good things about a few of them. The one I used, I'll tell you who I used. I can't say I recommend them necessarily. I have gotten a few figures from them with no real problems, but it's Gun Damn It is the name of the store. But there are other ones I've heard of, you know, 5K, but I've also heard some really bad things. So I can't really say too much about that. I don't buy a lot of things from this type of retailer. All right, he stands about 6 and let's say 7/8, give or take. You maybe take a little bit off of there. And that's going to make him roughly 17.5 centimeters. Here he is up against Darwin. So you could definitely fit this guy into a not true 1/12 scale collection easily. And here he is up against Batman. They go together just fine, obviously. So that's nice. That's good. Scaling is a big deal for me. Some people don't care at all. I happen to care a lot. Now let's do a question of the day. Are you guys like all in on these things just because they're so damn cool, or are you not into it because of certain character designs? Like some people don't like the Arkham Knight suits, for instance, for Batman, and so they don't want it, that kind of stuff. Let me know how you guys are going about collecting these particular types of figures. All right, let's get into the aesthetic on this guy. Obviously, if you already looked at it at all, it's gorgeous. I have two things that I'm not sure about, and I'll have to see if I can look into it more. It looks to me like his head might be a little bit skinny, and that might just be an optical illusion. I'll have to look at the game a little bit closer. It's been a while since I played it. So there's that. And then the other thing I have for this guy, well, I guess it's a similar issue, is the swords and the staff seem out of scale, but that could be me also. Otherwise, it looks really great. The paint job's really good except for two issues. One is this orange, his tassel thing. It's a very different orange. It's almost like a peach color, and it has no paint on it to make it match the rest of the kind of grimy looking figure. So that's definitely not the best looking thing. I think you could easily fix that, and maybe it's even accurate. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. I'll have to check. And then the other issue I have for the paint is the wash on the scale mill down there. It's not evenly distributed, so he's got some very shiny spots and some dark spots, but that's about it. Otherwise, this thing is freaking beautiful. There's one more, it's articulation related. I'll talk about it in a minute. This guy is gorgeous. The texture on everything makes him come to life so easily. And there's paintwork, like every little strap. Not only does it, or every little buckle has the silver, but it also has the orangey brown around there. I mean, it really brings the figure to life. It looks so nice. There's shading, there's battle damage. Everything looks great. He does not have the articulated eye that maybe some of you were hoping he would have, but it is well painted, at least, so that's nice. And it just looks really, really, really good. Until you do this. Now, you don't have to do this, so it's not really a problem, but I don't like it when figures have unsculpted body underneath their armor. I don't even know if you're going to be able to tell, because it's just black tubular shoulders. I think he should have his sculpted details on there. Granted, you're not going to see it because of the shoulder pads, but let's say you have to pose them in a way that it shows. That's a bit of a bummer that there's no detail in there at all. It is just bare black tubular plastic. But the shoulder pads hide it almost completely anyway, so not a big deal, but this is a review and I need to do my job. So, yes, he's gorgeous. Proportioning is good. I think the head's probably fine. It's probably just an optical illusion. But yeah, he looks, man, it's gorgeous. I've always thought this was a good look for this character too, and they nailed it. This is wonderful. It's a shame he didn't come in time to make it onto any lists, but he didn't, and it's not my fault. Alright, so he looks great. I guess you could say his butt is a little weird. That's good for posing, but his butt is definitely weird looking. Not a real big deal for me, but it's a thing. So 9.5 out of 10. Looks really good. 9.9 if this is supposed to look like this. I don't think it necessarily has to be the exact same color as the armor, but it does look off. I'll check, but we'll still say 9.5 even if it's off. As far as the accessories go, you do get the alternate head, no posable eyes on this one, just painted, and it still looks pretty darn good. I still think InArt has better faces, but this is pretty nice. It's really good. Actually, I guess the Batman's head is better than this one too, the Bruce Wayne head. So maybe they're tied, the two brands. Still really nice either way. A bunch of hands. I think everything you need. I'm not thinking of anything I'm really wanting out of the hands. You do get his 1911. That's a good one. His rifle. That's pretty good. The knife looks okay, I guess. And then you have the two swords and the stick that can be interchangeable lengths. I don't know. The lengths on the stick seem weird, and the sizes of the swords seem weird. But maybe I'm just remembering wrong, so if I can check, I will. If I can't find anything on that, then you decide how you feel about those things. And then lastly, for real accessories, you get his like grappling gun thingy, his hook shot, and his display stand, which is a nice little display stand. I don't love the way their clip is, but it is still better than not having one. So that's a good spread of accessories. I will go, if the swords and things are accurate, 9.9. 9.9. The knife still looks kind of crappy, but otherwise, let's say just 9 if the swords are not accurate, then that seems pretty reasonable. Alright, now as far as articulation goes, this does bug me a little bit. This just rotates. There's no actual joint on it. The way they sculpted it, it's fine because it goes back end up or back end down or whatever. So it should be okay for most posing, but you are more limited than you would otherwise be if it had an actual joint. But we're actually going to pop that off so that it's not in the way. Now as far as the head and neck, the neck has range to move forward and back, and then the head is on ball pegs, and I wish his neck was sculpted, just like the shoulder. Yeah, maybe you're not going to see it most of the time, but the neck is not sculpted, and that takes away some, at least, from the aesthetic. But you're not going to see it most of the time, and the head does move around really, really well, so that's good. The shoulder pads, not only are they independently, like they're independent pieces that are connected, so that's nice, but you do have the big old hinge to get the shoulder pad out of the way. If you want to raise the arm up, you can do that. I would still put it like this, probably bring it up like that, but see, yeah, you can see the arm underneath there, and that's not ideal because it's not sculpted. So yeah, I think they should have done that. I don't know why they didn't do that. You do get a butterfly joint in here. It's maybe not the most useful, but it's there. I think he's not as good as Batman. The more I handle him, he looks great, but I don't like some of the things they did. His shoulder does not have as much range as I was hoping, because I was hoping this big old shoulder pad would hide a lot of like ugly articulation that worked really well, and it's just enough articulation to work well enough. So that's okay. I tried to shoulder the rifle with him the other day when I got him, and like you can kind of do it, but it's not as much as I was hoping it would be. So the shoulder pads are doing a lot of heavy lifting there to make him look good, but doesn't function as well as I was hoping. Bicep swivel is great though, that's fine. Double jointed elbow does work nicely, and it's pretty darn good looking for an elbow. That's nice, good range. And you do get rotation out of the forearm too if you need that. That's nice. Ball hinge wrists, that's pretty much standard, nothing special there. Diaphragm joint on this guy is interesting because you would expect that blue piece right there to tuck in or to move with the orange, but instead it tucks in, and that's kind of cool. Does he have really great range? It works. He can definitely lean forward. It's nothing crazy. It's not a Revoltech. It looks a lot better than a Revoltech though, so I am more than okay with that. As far as leaning back though, very little. Very little leaning back if you're not counting the waist. If you're counting the waist, then you get some, but he doesn't lean back a lot up here. Going to the side, basically nothing. He doesn't go to the side really at all, so that's kind of unfortunate. He does rotate around, and that's fine. And just like on Batman, his belt, his outer belt, tabs in so that it stays in place normally, and otherwise you can just untab it so that it makes a little bit more clearance. That's useful. Now here's one thing that's kind of annoying. Like this strap right here has an extra long piece to tuck under his belt so that it looks right, and that's good and useful. This one does not. I guess because maybe it's supposed to go under this pouch, but it's constantly just out there floating on its own, and that makes it kind of a nuisance. So be aware of that. There's another one over here. That's not one. That one's not as big of a deal. But when you use the hips, let's get to the hips. He can bring his leg up to basically just horizontal. The straps don't look great. I think there's not a whole lot you can do about that. I mean, as a designer, I don't know. Something. Maybe just make them connected to like a Y harness. I don't know. That's not great, but I don't know of a better solution, so you can decide if you care about that or not. But it does look a little bit weird just having the straps floating out there. But the leg goes up that far. The leg does go back. Like I said, the butt's not there, so you can bring the leg all the way back, and these straps are still there. Then going out to the side, the straps are going to get in the way one way or the other, and so is this belt piece, but he can get his leg out pretty far. You can move that. This hip is very similar to the Gen 2 Dragon Ball figures, the 2.0s, where they just have that floating piece. But yeah, he can't really do the splits. This side doesn't go really very far. And I'm not sure. I guess it could be this. Let's see. Something's not tucking. Doesn't have as much range on this side for some reason. I can't really get it to go. But still good range. Just, you know, it's not a Revoltech figure. It doesn't have as much as you maybe thought it would with all of these different pieces of armor hiding the articulation. I was expecting a little bit more out of the range. But he's still going to look good if you're not putting him into ninja poses. And if you are putting him into ninja poses, you're going to have to be a little bit creative. Thigh swivel works nicely, though, hidden underneath the armor, that like you would expect. Double jointed knee. Pretty good. It's not a bad looking knee. You get all the range you want, and it's not ugly. It's not a bad knee at all. It is chunky because a double jointed knee is going to be, but it does look pretty good, like reasonably good for what it is. So that's fine. And then for the ankles, this piece is a floater so that it doesn't get in the way, and it just helps everything to look good. You get your ball hinge. Limited range unless you kind of get tricky with forcing it to go over, like bringing the heel back over the armor. It can work, but not the best range for that. Going forward, it's pretty good, so I'll give him that. And then the ankle rocker works decently. It's okay. Again, he just doesn't have the best articulation as compared to what I was hoping for, and maybe other people were too. But they're cheap figures for as good as they are, so it's like, it's a trade-off. I think it's perfectly reasonable. The toe hinge, reasonable, not great. All of these things I'm pointing out, it's because it's a review. I don't care that much personally because obviously the figure is gorgeous and not super expensive at all. So I'm going to be okay with it. I don't mind that his articulation is way more limited than I expected. It would be great if it wasn't more limited, but it is. So I'm okay with it. You guys can decide if you're okay with it or not. But I'll give his articulation, I'll give you 2 ratings. One, given the price point and how much you're getting outside of the articulation, I think the articulation is perfectly reasonable, and I would go 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. But if you thought this guy was going to be like a hyper poser in addition to looking good and being cheap, well, it's not that. So then it gets like a 7 or like a 6.5. There's a lot of limitation that I wasn't expecting, especially in the shoulders. Okay, time for the final verdict. For sure, if you were interested in this, buy it. It's a really good figure. It's going to be one of the best looking figures in your collection. Period. Not if you collect Marvel Legends, not if you collect this or that. Just one of the best looking figures in your collection. For sure, especially at this scale. But even if you're counting 12-inch figures, this thing is gorgeous. That's its strong suit. It has decent enough accessories, decent enough articulation to carry it the rest of the way through. So I'm going to give it an overall rating of, I'm going to say 9.5 out of 10. It could get higher if the articulation was a little bit more robust, but it's certainly enough. It's certainly enough for what it is. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's going to be it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.